Welcome back to the Britannia Coin Company. We're a coin dealer based in Royal Wootton Bassett in the UK. Now, in the past on our channel we featured a number of hammered coins. They're fascinating pieces of history which you can get at an affordable price, or you can spend a bit more money and get a really impressive coin. I thought today we'd have a look at the process by which you could identify a hammered coin. Maybe you found one metal detecting, or you've been given or inherited some hammered coins and you want to know where to start in the process of identifying them. Let's have a look then. Firstly though, what is a hammered coin? This isn't too complex. It is basically what it says on the tin really. A coin which has been created by hand by giving it a whack with a hammer. The blank piece of metal, which is commonly referred to as a planchet or flan, is placed between two dies. Now, a die is a piece of iron, or on the odd occasion would have been steel, which has the design intended for the coin cut into it. The top die is then struck with one precise blow, and that is how a hammered coin would have been created, more often than not. Because this is a rather rudimentary way to make the coins, it does mean that no two hammered coins are identical, unlike our current coinage. The fact that human error can play a part in the manufacturing of the coin adds a bit of interest and fun in collecting hammered coins. If a planchet or flan isn't correctly placed between the two dies, then you can end up with an off-center strike, which can be really interesting to look at and can add some value to the right collectors. Given that the coins were created for centuries, with machine-milled coins being troweled under the reign of Queen Elizabeth I, the hammering of coins didn't cease until 1662. Are hammered coins valuable though? As with all things collectible, this depends on a number of variables. Firstly, how scarce or rare a coin is. Given that this was a method to create money in a time long before plastic cards, coins would have been in demand, so it really depends how many examples of the coin exists. Of course, there is also condition. Many hammered coins have been found by metal detectorists, but given the coins have been living underground for potentially centuries, with roots, pressure and exposure to the elements all affecting the coin. Just to complicate things though, if a coin is rare enough, the condition might not have too much of an impact on the value of it. As if there are few of them, or like some of the debased coinage of King Henry VIII, where most of the coins have quality issues, that might outweigh other factors. There is also of course the metal the coin is made from, commonly made of silver, but of course also of gold. Generally speaking, the latter of the two are going to be more valuable just on the face of the fact that it's made of gold. Gold coins too tended to be higher value coins, which there was less demand for. Similar to today, there are a lot more pennies in circulation than say £2 coins, so this factor also makes the gold coins scarcer. The first step to identify your hammered coins is to check the obverse or the head side of the coin. If you take a look at the portrait of a monarch, this will help you narrow down when the coin was minted, although there are some instances where previous monarchs' portraits were used in the early coinage of their successor. Identifying a monarch's portrait gets a lot easier from King Henry VIII onwards, as the designs were more unique for each monarch. But even for monarchs whose portraits look fairly similar, it'll still narrow down the field for you. There are also mint marks to look for as well. A mint mark identifies where a coin was struck. Before the Royal Mint was founded in 886 AD, moneyers minted coins all over the country. Different mints were open at different times, so again it will help you narrow down the window of opportunity that that particular coin could have been struck if it bears a certain mint mark. Another method to help you identify your hammered coins would be to check the size and the weight. This naturally won't tell you exactly what the coin is. It might help you narrow down the options if you're stuck though. This can also be complicated because clipping was rife, whereby slithers of precious metal were sliced off of a coin to melt down or make more coins for a profit. This does mean that some coins will weigh less and potentially be smaller than they should be, so you have to take that with a pinch of salt. If you can't make out the monarch on the obverse of the coin, there are still some hints that can be gleaned from the reverse or tail side of a coin. For example, between 1180 and 1247, you will find coins referenced to as short cross, which unsurprisingly had a short cross as the design on the reverse. This began under the reign of King Henry II, who had inherited the throne after a civil war fought by his mother Matilda and his cousin Stephen. By this time, the coinage of the country was, to be quite frank, a mess, with foreign, irregular, underweight clipped coins, all a disparate mix with other coins issued by barons and landowners. The decision to standardise the coinage with the short cross, rather than periodically changing it, did come with its benefits. The coins and values would become more stable, and they would be more easily recognised as and when traded abroad as well. On the other hand, standardising the design meant the crown couldn't generate revenue by changing the designs and forcing moneyers to buy new dies, which the crown would receive a cut of the profits of. It also stifled creativity and variance as well, but the stability of the currency is a serious requirement which needed addressing at the time. Short cross coins were produced during the reigns of King Henry II, Richard I, John, and Henry III. So if you have a short cross on the reverse of your coin, that's your window to research more into. So why are they called short cross coins rather than just cross coins? Subsequent to short cross coins, long cross coinage was introduced from 1247 up until 1279, and this is another identifying marker to assist you in identifying your hammered coins too. After 60 years of the short crossed coinage, many were worn, and moreover many were now clipped. One option considered was the debasement of the coins, a process by which the silver content would be reduced, with purer silver coins being replaced with less pure silver. It would have actually generated some revenue as well. It was decided though not to proceed down this avenue. The introduction of the long cross coins was also to try and prevent the coins from being able to be clipped. With a cross which extended to the edges of the coins, it left little room for slithers of silver to be removed without damaging the design. This wasn't wholly successful though, with clipped versions of these coins often being found. Off-centre strikes would also contribute to the ability to be able to clip these coins as well. When these coins were introduced, they were exchanged by weight rather than by face value, which left some people a little bit out of pocket if they'd already clipped their coins or had coins which had previously been clipped by another owner of it. It did though end up being a healthy revenue stream for the king and his supporters. These new coins were struck by 19 different mints across the country, although over time the number of the different mints diminished. But again, with the use of mint marks, this adds an exciting variety for collectors to seek out and find. The long cross coins did have a tendency to be cut. The mints did a lot of the cutting, but this was also done by people to create their own small change. A penny itself being at the time a day's wage for a skilled labourer, if the whole coin was too high value, then they could be halved or even quartered, and the long cross helped in providing a guideline for the cut. These can be really tricky to identify at times though, given that many hammered coins themselves can take some time and investigation to pin down. Working from just a half or a quarter of the design can be tricky or at times impossible to identify. Another type of hammered coin which is really tricky to identify, even for a seasoned numismatic expert, are the Edward hammered coins. The kings Edward I through to Edward III, all succeeding each other, but not denoting their regnal number on their coins. This leads to a rather long period where the coins are very similar in how they appear. Another frustration in identifying each of these reigns is the portraits used are also similar, And with the passing of time, the detail and visibility of the differences can be really hard to determine from one another. We won't go into more detail than that with these coins, because we'll be here all day otherwise. With coins hammered by Anglo-Saxons, Vikings, Normans, Plantagenets, right the way through to the Tudor and Stuart dynasties, there is such a fascinating variety of coins that you can be collecting and researching. As with our beginner's guide to collecting coins, a focus on one smaller area will probably serve you well to start, and then branching out into other areas rather than face an avalanche of information. I hope this video has been helpful in steering you in the right direction when starting to identify your UK hammered coins. If you have any hammered coins in your collection, let me know down in the comments. I'd be fascinated to know how many of you collect them. We have a wide variety of high-grade hammered coins on our website. There are links down in the description to the coins that I featured in today's video. It's also worth checking out our eBay shop as well, as when we get lower grade versions of the coins, we do a cursory examination of the coins and put them up onto our eBay shop. It leaves you plenty of room to do your own research and nab yourself a bargain. Be sure as well to give this video a like and subscribe to our YouTube channel. It's free to do and means you won't miss out on any of our future uploads. You can also follow us on our social media channels. We're on Facebook and Instagram, where you'll see lots of images of our coins. We're on Twitter and TikTok. We've got our shop and online store. But I'll see you next time for more amazing coins from the Britannia Coin Company.